All right. I wanted to try a recording because, yeah, I don't know. Like, I kind of want to just try doing like a video diary or something. I don't really like journaling. I've like never really liked journaling, but I kind of want to get my thoughts out of my head in a different way and also potentially see if other people resonate with these thoughts. So, mm, yeah, I'm trying this. Uh, and I feel like stretching while I'm doing it. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm trying to learn how to pancake stretch. So I've been spending a lot of time just kind of in this like deep, like V position. Uh, yeah, my room is a little messy right now. And it's been good. Like I feel like I'm slowly stretching out my hamstrings and building in my core a little bit more because like I think I've always been stiff in the hamstrings and just like the legs and the lower body in general. Uh, I guess I've been stiff everywhere, but like I've been mostly stiff in the legs, and it's been like a long process of getting in touch with my feet and my legs and touching grass and all that good stuff. Living on an island, living in a forest. Yeah, really getting back to nature. Uh, so, yeah, what am I thinking about today? Hmm. I'm thinking about relationships and apps today. Yeah, I'm in the process of getting a divorce from my partner for 15 years, and we're still like best friends. So it's like really funny because we just started working on an app today. Uh, and it was kind of like our best collab ever because now that we're not like all intensely like trauma bonded and codependent on each other, uh, we could actually like hold our own space in the collab much better. uh, and yeah, it just like flowed really smoothly, especially with AI to help us kind of prototype everything. So that was kind of fun, and I just like, I think, building stuff. Like I've always liked building stuff with people. I've started startups, started a foundation, uh, kind of built Habitat for Humanity stuff, and built a treehouse for my little brother. Built a lot of Legos as a kid, uh, and yeah, I've just always like building stuff, and I always like collaborating with people when I build it. So yeah, I've been thinking a lot about this lately and how I'm just like, I have a lot of ideas for things I want to build in the world, and a lot of people I want to collaborate with, and a lot of people I don't know yet, but I also want to collaborate with them. uh, and I've just been kind of noodling for years now, uh, on ways to collaborate more effectively because I'm just like, I've done it before where I've had a startup and had like 100 people that I'm working with and been like, whoa, like this was a lot of different like stakeholders and like pieces of a complicated domain to all kind of cohere into like one cohesive thing that is moving in generally the same direction. Uh, just like a lot of different people who need to interact with each other, a lot of different kind of technologies and products. And like I was the technical co-founder, so it was like on me to like integrate all the different technical pieces. uh, and yeah, I guess I just developed like a lot of smells around how technologies do and don't fit together. And so this has been a thing that's been kind of like a special interest of mine. Like my autistic special interest is now making things fit together more nicely in the technological space. It's just like, how can I have my technology feel like my my kind of physical matter, Like I want my technology to feel like water. I want it to feel like soil. I want to be able to kind of grow stuff in my technology the same way that I grow stuff in a garden. Uh, so yeah, this has been like this big, it's been this big exploration for a good chunk of my 30s, I guess. I started a startup around it. I tried to kind of build out a database and a product and all sorts of stuff. And it was just like never really like kind of had something that like really clicked. Uh, and then I got started like vibe coding, and I've just made a lot of progress on the idea. And so I'm still like early on it, and it feels weird to like even talk about it. But I like this idea of like having kind of data that feels like water, data that feels like it can just like move through any application and seamlessly integrate. Uh, and I know that's like kind of a weird concept because right now we have like APIs and integrations, and you kind of like connect all these things with like, very specific pieces. But it's like, what if the pieces were more generalized? What if like everything was a Lego? uh, so yeah, I think that's as far as I want to get into that today because I already feel like really bouncy and antsy and like just like ooh, like talking about it. Mm, mm. Yeah, like I want to like invite people in to the idea. Uh, and so I'm just like trying to figure out how to communicate it because it's like been this thing that I've been stewing on for so long. And you know how like when you have an idea that you've been stewing on for so long and you want to like get it out there in the world. Yeah, it can feel like really like how do I communicate it? How do I share it? How do I express this aspect of myself? Uh, this aspect of my awareness in a way that other people can receive. Like, what's the interface? And this is, I'm getting very meta right now, but this is kind of the issue with data I see is like, what's the interface? Like, how do we share and express data uh, where it doesn't feel so siloed? Like, right now, I feel this kind of stark tension where, like, so much of my data is in products and services that don't really expose it to me in a way that I can mix and match it, that I can kind of reassemble it and recontextualize it, that I can build on top of it. Uh, it's like kind of in somebody else's private little silo, like their little box. And then they expose like a few little ways of connecting to it, but they're not very good. They're kind of slow. Maybe they're rate limited. And uh, they're like bespoke. Like, you kind of have to learn each person's language. It's like, if I want to talk to my Google, then I have to learn Google's API. If I want to talk to YouTube, which is also Google, it's a different API. If I want to talk to my Instagram or my TikTok or my Notion or my Obsidian, like all of these things are different APIs, different ways of interfacing with that data. And like I want it to be like more cohesive. Like everything is just a stream of information just flowing through my systems. And I can have different applications that are grabbing bits of information and being like, oh, I'll do something with that. I'll do something with that. So that's kind of the high level idea. And maybe I'll get more into the lower level stuff one day. Someday. I'll definitely get into the lower level stuff someday. Uh, but yeah, I've been thinking about relationships and like what it's like to just to like really like let one flow, like let one kind of be whatever it wants to be. Uh, like this relationship with my ex, where it's like we were so kind of entwined for so long, and now we're not, but we still are. And it's just like, I don't know, like it feels very different from like relationships that I'm familiar with. I don't really know very many people who are this friendly with their partner and like talk about it. And so I'm just like, oh, okay, like maybe I should talk about it because it just feels nice. Like it feels like this is like, yeah, like I, I don't understand why some people are like kind of mean to one another. Like I think that was the thing with our relationship is like we were never mean to each other like intentionally. We never tried to hurt one another. Like we did like unintentionally hurt one another in different ways, but we never did that in like a malicious way. And I think that kept us like close friends no matter what. And I'm like really grateful for that. But I'm also just like, yeah, like why doesn't everybody do that? Like clearly not everybody kind of seems to even want that like cordial relationship with their ex. Or not even cordial, like good, like pleasant. And yeah, this has been coming up more and more in just the stuff that I've been building and the stuff that I've been working on. Because it's like I want to build tools and I want to build systems and communities and all this stuff where people have this relationship with each other where it's like very honest and it's very forward and it's very clear, but it's also very like kind of live and let live. It's just like, oh, okay, if there's not alignment, there's not alignment. There's lots of different ways to live. Uh, I'm not going to judge you or hold something against you just because I don't agree with it, just because it's not like the way I want things to be. Uh, so like having like that spaciousness to, I guess, like meet people in whatever their frame of reality is and be like, oh, that's an interesting frame. Like curious about that. Like, what are you doing over there? Like, what does it feel like to be you? Uh, and then also being like, oh, okay, like maybe like we don't hang out, as a couple married 24/7. Like maybe that's fine. Like we had all these ideas when we were younger about like what marriage looked like and what relationships look like and like all this stuff. And then eventually as we got older, we were just like, let's just test it out for ourselves. And we started like playing with it and experimenting with it. And like we did a lot of interesting things. And I think we learned a lot. And like I'm really glad for all the stuff that we learned. Uh, but yeah, it was very much like kind of choose your own adventure. uh, like there were a lot of points where it was just like, whoa, this is kind of rough, or this is kind of shaky, or this is just like unexpected. Like I didn't expect to be here like a couple years ago, and now I'm living a completely different life. Like we lived on an island for a few months. We lived in a forest for a few months. We moved abroad for a couple years. We did so many different things that like I didn't really plan on doing at the beginning of the relationship, but they just kind of arose as we tried to kind of coordinate our lives together, and they were good. Like they were really good. Like I really quite just like delighted that I got to experience all those things. yeah, I'm thinking about like jealousy, and I'm noticing like I didn't really feel jealousy over the course of the relationship. Like I felt like slivers of it, like little bits of it, but I couldn't really get it because I think like we were both like really devoted to each other. And like even when we had moments where we were just like, oh, that person's interesting, you know, they're attractive, like I'm attracted to this person, uh, we still like talked about it. And I can be like, oh, I can see what you like about that person. Like that's I kind of like that too. Like I kind of also find that attractive. Uh, and it was just like more information instead of it being like a threat. It was just like, oh yeah, that's a cool thing. Like maybe I want to embody that as well. Maybe I already do embody that. Maybe that's why you like me. uh, and yeah, it was really cool to discover compersion because like this was something that I did not expect at all. Like all of the kind of like stuff that I saw about relationships was more around the kind of like jealousy and hyper monogamy and just like you know kind of this polarity of like you're either in a good place or a bad place. uh, and I think this is like typical of like autism. It's just like you watch a lot of movies, you watch a lot of TV, and then you're just like, oh, this is how relationships work or this is how people work because it's just like you know I didn't get like the full software download of like this is how people work. You know, it's like the normal interactions for me are very like I have to like analyze and be like, what's going on over there? Like, why are you doing that way? Like that's it doesn't make perfect sense to me. Like I can't quite get why everybody seems to do this kind of performance, this little dance, you know, like small talk and whatnot. And it's like it takes me a while to like learn like what purpose it's serving and like why people are doing that instead of just saying what they're thinking. uh, and I mean, it makes sense to me now. Like now I get it. It's just like, oh, okay, like most people want some like buffer time to develop that trust to be like, oh, okay, like is this person actually safe to be vulnerable with? Is this person actually safe to reveal these more intimate parts of myself with? And so they do that little small talk dance to like figure out the safety, uh, like in a kind of more subtle way without just like I don't know asking or something, which is definitely like something that I've tried to do and to less success I think. Uh, Although sometimes I can be pretty direct. I can just like talk about the moment, like the present feeling in my body, and that actually works quite well to like develop the intimacy bit. But yeah, like it wasn't obvious to me why people did all those things. And so when I found out that like I could just feel good when my partner felt good and I didn't have to like feel like I don't know, jealous or ashamed or like emasculated when my partner reflected back something to me that like kind of reflected my own identity in a way that was like a little shadowy or uncomfortable. I could just be like, ooh, that's a stark mirror. You're holding up a really stark mirror there. But it's like it's true. It's like it's kind of nice to see clearly this feeling or this emotion or this way of being that yeah like kind of unsettles me a little bit. It's like you know it's a little bit unsettling but it's also kind of nice. And it's like I think maybe that's like a special interest or a kink or just like a thing that like just generally turns me on a little bit is like looking at the uncomfortable thing and being like, what is that? Is that me? Is that how I look? Oh shit. Ooh. but like, you know, metabolizing it instead of like looking away and being like, I don't want that, or that's icky, or that's a problem. And like sometimes like I look at something and it's like quite, you know, jarring. It's just be like, oh, I don't want to look at that. Like that's too stark. But most of the time, it's like, oh, okay, like let me just take a look. You know, like let me just see if I can look at it without flinching, without freaking out. And what I noticed was just like, oh yeah, most of the time I actually feel really happy. Like most of the time, it's really, really nice to get something reflected back to me with like zero work. It's like all I have to do is be willing to look. And like that's what it felt like this compersion was, where it's just like my partner would have an experience with another person, uh, and I would think it would lead to like jealousy or envy or like feeling like, you know, just like, you know, just like new information. Like it wouldn't even be like big stuff. It would just be like, you know, like she would reflect to me that she shared a moment of intimacy with somebody where it was just like eye contact or just like a little touch. And it was just like, you know, there was some charge there, there was something there. And I'd be like, that's interesting. Like I'm fascinated because it's like there's, you know, charge in our own connection, but also sometimes there's no charge, and it's like the connection is always moving, it's always kind of evolving, and being able to just kind of be with that and be like, oh yeah, like sometimes we're supercharged, other times we're like kind of not kind of flat, and like what is that? What is going on when we're in these kind of different ways of relating to ourselves, to other people, and like what are our boundaries? You know, as a couple, as just two people, you know, what are we okay with as far as that kind of like energetic thread, that energetic charge between ourselves and other people? And this is one thing that like I don't know, like I feel like everybody plays with this, like all couples play with this, but like I think we were both like autistic and we were both like very experimental. Like that's kind of like our modality through life is we just like kind of explore stuff and experiment and just like run tons and tons of experiments, and like it looks like chaotic to other people, but to us it's just like we're just gaining lots of data and it's kind of fun. Um, so yeah, we were both just like going through it. We're being just like, let's try this, let's try that, let's try this, let's try that, and be like, this is kind of nice, and that's kind of not nice, and like I kind of like how this feels in my body, but I don't really like how that feels in my body. And yeah, we just like developed like way more attunement with my own system, and way more attunement with her system, and way more attunement with like other people's systems in general. Because like at first we were just like very kind of closed off, like, you know, like let's not really interact too much, like too intimately with anybody. And then I was just like, oh, okay, like let me just see how this charge feels, like eye contact, you know, a hug, like talking about something intimate. Uh, and it was like, I don't know, it was just like, it was really nice to just like expand that domain into a place where we're just like, we're both just running the experiment and we're both talking about it, and it's okay and it's safe and there's a container, and like if it ever feels like too much we can always be like, let's close it up a little bit more. Like we had a moment where that happened, where it felt like too much, and I was just like, okay, we close it. Choop, choop, choop. You know, close the container. And like it was just like a really nice experience. And now we're at this point where like we're getting a divorce, but we're like in some ways closer than ever. And it's like it feels really uncanny to just be like, you know, okay, I've got this person who, like, I see very clearly, and she sees me very clearly. But also, we see that we're kind of different people, and like, it's not like perfect alignment for us to be like married together. Like that, just like, you know, we have very different kind of modus operandi, like ways that we operate through the world. And so we're just like, we could split. Like it feels like unthinkable to our parents or grandparents or whatever, to a lot of our friends. Uh, but it also feels just like, I don't know, like exploring this territory again, like running this experiment. Uh, we could always get back together. We could always find other people. We could always stay single. Like there's so many possibilities, and like none of them are inherently intrinsically like bad. So it's like, why are we stressing out about it? Like, let's just kind of run the experiment. Uh, and as we run the experiment, we get more data, and then we can like sync back up and be like, how are you doing? Like we didn't talk to each other for like half a year. Uh, and then we started talking to each other again. It was like, whoa, like this is really easy to talk to you. Even for not talking to each other for half a year. Uh, and like for me, like I'm developing this capacity in myself to do this, like to video journal, uh, to kind of speak my own thoughts with more kind of internal pressure. Like I think before I didn't have a lot of that like internal pressure to kind of be myself. Like I always felt kind of awkward being myself, being like this like undiagnosed autistic guy who was just like trying to understand all of these kind of social rules, but like really struggling to be like, why are you doing that? And why are you doing that? And like, do I have to do that? Like, that seems like a lot of work and kind of annoying and unnecessary, but like everybody does it. So, like, I guess maybe I'll try doing that too. And so basically just like trying on like all of these different hats and all of these different clothes that didn't quite fit me and like kind of the texture was wrong. Like this shirt is bamboo. uh, Texture matters a lot. Matters a lot. Uh, and yeah, I was just trying all these things where the texture was off. And so I felt itchy, I felt uncomfortable. Uh, but I just like kept doing it because I saw everybody else doing it. And then over time, I started developing my own kind of internal pressure to just be like, I'm just going to be this weirdo over here doing my thing. And like, you know, let me just like get comfortable with that and, see who's okay with it, see who I attract. Uh, and that's been working out way better for me as far as just like getting to meet some other like real weirdos, but like in a really good way, in the best possible way. People who are just like really just being themselves, who are exploring the bounds of consciousness and possibility. And like, hey, if I'm going to express and share and engage with the world, what does it actually look like and feel like to do that as like cleanly as I can, like with like as little filter as possible, but with as much grace as possible, if that makes sense. It's like this constant dance, this constant like back and forth of like, I'm gonna push against the universe and the universe is gonna push back, and I'm gonna push, it's gonna push back. And like there's gonna be this feeling of just like what feels good, like a dance. It's just like when I'm dancing, it's like there's really in sync dancing where it feels like me and my partner are just like really like in the same vibe and we're just like intuiting each other's movements. And then there's really out of sync dancing where it's just like, oh man, like I'm not quite sure how to meet you where you are. Like I want to get to where you are so I can meet you. And it seems like you want to get to where I am so you can meet me. But we're just like so far apart that we're just like kind of just inhabiting similar space, but we're not actually like interfacing and like moving coherently. Uh, and so this just feels like this thing that everybody's trying to do, uh, and that for me it's like a skill. I'm just like, how do I develop this skill in more ways with more people? How do I learn to dance with myself? How do I learn to dance with the universe? How do I learn to dance with my ex? How do I learn to dance with anybody? How do I learn to dance with this like this weird sort of dance, or I'm like talking to a screen. I see myself. I can see my hands. I can't see my body. That is kind of, yeah, it's like kind of disembodying, but also kind of nice because it's just like I can like focus my weight into my body. Uh, yeah, I'm wondering if I'm done. I'm starting to feel done. Yeah, I think I'm done. All right. Well, that was interesting. That was a fun experiment. I wonder if I'm going to post this. I kind of want to post it, maybe to YouTube, hmm. Or I could just keep it to myself, or I could watch it back and feel all the cringe. uh, hmm. Hmm. I kind of like just sitting in the cringe right now and just like metabolizing it, but I also want to like end the video because it's already 31 minutes. So I think that's long enough.